Hi teachers, this quick video is going to walk you through Google Photos. I love Google Photos for the simple ability to create a whole album of photos and then share that album with students with one link. And that's a great feature of Google Photos. You can upload photos that you've taken, maybe of students' work or of students themselves. Obviously making sure you have photo permission for that, or maybe you're just uploading other photos that you have access to. Maybe there are things like pictures of different landforms or pictures of things that pertain to your subject content that you can then organize within Google Photos. So before I jump into uploading and just a few tips and tricks for using albums, I want to point out that both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store have Google Photos apps. As a teacher, I used my app all the time. I loved having it on my phone because I am so much more user-friendly in terms of taking pictures with my phone. Couple things if you choose the phone app to add. First, do not turn on your backup and sync. And the reason why I say that is backup and sync will automatically take all of those photos that you have on your phone and back them up into whatever account that you have it set to go to. So I always left my backup and sync off and manually uploaded to the account. Google will ask you a couple of times when you get the app, first when you get signed in, and then if you accidentally turn it on, you can go up to the three lines on the right or the left hand side of the app and then go down to settings, and I believe the first setting under there is the backup and sync setting. Make sure that's turned off on your phone. Then once you start uploading on your phone, do keep in mind that there is a delay. So it takes time for the servers to register that the photos are uploaded. So if you upload a whole batch of photos, you may need to walk away for up to a couple of hours before you actually can see them in Google Photos via your computer or via an album that you're sharing. So once you're in Google Photos, if you're working on your desktop, you can go over to the albums section and you have the opportunity to create albums ahead of time, or you can create them when you upload photos. I typically create them ahead of time and then add photos, but it's up to you. So if you were to add photos by starting on the photo page and clicking upload up here and upload from your computer or Google Drive, it's going to just upload them to Google Photos. It won't put them in an album. However, if you were to create an album first and then click into the album, you will be able to add photos directly to this album. So I'm actually going to select a few photos to upload. If I want to select multiple photos from my computer, I can use Control, hold down the Control key, and click on whatever photos I want. When I'm ready, I just let go of the Control key and I hit open. If I want to select a whole batch of photos, I can hold down the Shift key, click on the first photo and then the last photo, and everything in between will be selected. And then I'm going to go ahead and click open. I'm going to wait while this is uploading. There is also a desktop uploader that you may find easier to use that you can always install on your computer and then be able to upload to Google Photos that way. One thing to keep in mind when you're in an album is right underneath the album you have a plus sign here, and you can invite someone to the album. So if I were to invite my other account here, I can send them an invitation this way. So I can send that person an invitation. I can also get the link sharing link. So I love this link because this link allows me to then put this in my Google Classroom and choose what people can do with this photo album. So if I take this link and if I'm sharing it with students, I usually turn off the collaborate. I don't want them to be able to add their own photos. but I leave on the comments and likes. So this can be a great way to actually have a lesson using Google Photos instead of having students comment on things in a Google Doc or making a slideshow with all of your photos in it and having them comment. You can use Google Photos and it automatically creates you that nice slideshow. So we can leave that on, and then the link sharing. The link sharing you obviously would want on because that means anyone with the link can see those photos and people in this album. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that link, and then I will share this link via Google Classroom. So I'm just going to paste it into a browser here so that you can see what it looks like. So it will take them into Google Photos, and then if the user were to click on one of the photos, they have the opportunity to scroll through the photos like a slideshow. You'll notice the like button down here and the say something option where students can comment on a photo, or adults. Up here at the top, you'll have the opportunity to share, edit photos within the album. You can edit by the coloring, edit by the light, or you can crop photos or rotate them if needed. You also have the opportunity to favorite photos, show more info, and then you have further options here where you can turn on the slideshow, rotate, download, and so on. So heading back here, I can see my album here, and I can click on Google Photos in the left. Couple of other things that you do have the option to do is there is the option to create shared albums with other people. A shared album is great because then you can have more than one person collaborating on the album. So if I click create and then I select shared album, then that way we can collaborate together and then we share that album with students, removing the ability for them to add photos of their own or whatever settings we want to choose. You can also create some animations, some simple movies out of the photos, or a collage. So some of these are prefab designs, so you don't have a ton of customization available to you, but they can be fun to play along with. One last thing, just to let you know, you do have the opportunity to archive. So if things are getting messy, but you don't want to delete those photos, you can archive things as well. If we click on settings, you'll notice that my upload size default, I always want to choose high quality. So that way it's the free unlimited storage. If I go to original, then that's when I start to eat into the space available for my photos. Shared libraries, and some other options here. So play around with the other options, but the biggest thing I want you to take time is play around with creating your own album, uploading photos to that album, and then sharing that link with students. And think about creative ways that you might use this with students.